And finally, let's take a look at our last activity for the course, and putting it all together here. This is something similar to what we did in the Algeblocks handout. So a company that sells gizmos knows that its annual profit depends on the price it sells in gizmos for. The price it sells the gizmos for. As the company changes the price of gizmos, its profit changes. So, for example, on the graph here, if we sell the gizmos for almost nothing, it's going to cost us more to make them than we're going to make from it. So our profit is going to be negative. If we can make them fairly cheap, then we're going to sell more of them. So our profit is going to be more. Then we start pricing ourselves out of business, because then people are going to say, wait, this is way too expensive, I'm not going to buy any, and the gizmo is not going to sell very well, so eventually they're just going to make zero. And usually this goes down as well, because if you price yourself so high that then if you don't sell any at all, then you're going to lose all the money you've put into it. So let's take a look at the questions. The company has found 3 ways to write an equation for profit function by writing equivalent expressions. In each case, the independent variable x is the price of gizmo in cents. So x is the price of gizmos in cents. And the dependent variable y is the company's annual profit in thousands of dollars. Okay. So explain how to reason about the structure of the equation 1 to tell you when the company's profit is 0. So if we want the profit to be 0, then how does this help? Well, the structure of this equation, on the expression on the right, is 3 things multiplied together, right? If you want the whole value to be 0, then either 2 has to equal 0, or x minus 10 has to equal 0, or 80 minus x has to equal 0. When does 2 equal 0? Never. That's never going to happen. When x is 10, x minus 10 is going to be 0. And when x is 80, 80 minus x is going to be 0. So there are going to be 2 situations where the company profit is going to be 0. And we can actually plot them here. So this situation is going to be when x equals 10, and this is going to be when x equals 80. All right, so let's look at number 2. Explain how the reason about the structure of equation 2, to tell you how the company can make its maximum profit. Well, this is going to be when this is the square term, right? It's the smallest it can be is 0, and then it can be as high as infinity. But if we have some kind of number minus something, then the less we're subtracting, the better, right? The less we subtract from 2450, the better. So the least we can subtract here is 0. So when is this 0? X minus 45 equals 0 when x equals 45. So actually, we can say that we're going to be subtracting the least at x equals 45. And where is that value going to be? What's the value of the expression is going to be? It's going to be 2450. And that's thousands of dollars. Okay, let's look at number 3. Explain how to use equation 3 to tell you what would happen if the company gave gizmos away for free. So if they charged 0 cents, 0 plus 0 minus 1,600. So they would lose $1,600,000. So $1.6 million. So what do parts 1, 2, and 3 tell you about the coordinate points A, B, and C, and D, and E? So let's look. A, well, is going to be 0 minus 1,600. B is 10, 0. C, we know, is 45 to 2450. D is 80, 0. Where's E? I don't see E. Okay, well, they asked for E, but I don't see it. Maybe I'm missing something. All right, so using the different kinds of equations, different forms of that same equation, we are able to really pinpoint a lot of information about the graph. And this is exactly where we finished on our algebra blocks, and this is where we're going to finish the course.